Hello, Facebook and YouTube friends. Just wanted to go over a little topic I want to discuss with you today. We're going to discuss the toroidal fields. The toroid is the root word for the toroidal fields. Toroids, also referred to as torus, as you can see here, um, is referring to the spiral of energy and electromagnetic currents that emanate from the um, the cosmos that is above us to the grounding energies of the earth that is beneath our feet. So this toroid follows a specific energy pattern that is demonstrated here, as you can see in this um, photograph here. Um, I have a prop here to demonstrate the toroid, exactly how it works. Matter of fact, it's the apple. And as you can see here, in any of these images here, like the one beneath me or the one there, the energy actually spirals down into the center of the toroidal field and comes, it spirals in two directions from the center. So you have a polarity where the upper energy is drawn down towards the earth and the earth energy is drawn up towards the sky. Lightning bolts are often seen coming down from the sky, and you'll see what they're called leaders. And the leaders will come up from the earth and actually meet the lightning bolt in the sky, or come up from the tree that it strikes. You'll see the leader go up the tree and meet the lightning bolt at the top. And this is the connecting point for the toroidal field, where it's been overloaded with ions and negative ions, and the positive ions converging. The whole thunderstorm is based off of ionic transference. So you have a condensation, literally, of ions that actually draw the water molecules out of the ambient air, and it condenses down into rainfall, and it falls back down to the earth. So that's this part of the process. The ions, the energy spiraling that way, and making the diamagnetic nature of the water to condense, and from its vapor form down back to the earth to a solid form. So you see the transmutation of even a water molecule as it's going from a state of a vapor to a state of being solid water that you can drink. Now, if you also notice, the 2 points of the toroid intersect in the center, and it's kind of like a transmutation point. It's a point of manifestation, and it's also where the poles are obviously perfectly balanced. If you look here on this graph here, depending on your charge, and this can be translated also to Merkaba. If you look all the way down in the lower left of your screen there where it says patterns, and you see under the S, you have that double triangle that's there. That's the I forget, it's called 6-pointed star. But that hexagon shape is a very rudimentary version of this field. That's when it's been structured, as opposed to this more flowing energy field that we see here. This is what we call nature, right? And so it's flowing in this toroid shape. In the Merkaba, is another way that the energy can flow in the grid, which we call the matria, the gematria, or the matrix, where the energy can be harnessed by different forces and entities that know the mathematics of the grids, where in this particular shape, in the toroid, the wholeness of this and the fullness of this is a lot harder to manipulate because it's the totality of the shape, you know. But if you're angled, then it's a lot easier for you to be headed off, manipulated, controlled, so on and so forth, because of the angularity of your disposition. But if you're well-rounded, as they say, if you're a toroid, if you can be charged up like with the energy of love, like what they're talking about here on the right of the screen, you know, it's an expansive toroid. Fear is a contractive toroid. Uh, most negative emotions are a contractive toroid. Um, uh, in some instances, you know, in saying warfare, for instance, you know, anger is never a great thing to use. But what they try to do with being angry in warfare, for instance, is to use that contracted toroid of anger to break through the physical. That's what the thought is and rationale behind it. Where in actuality, you can contract in a meditative state, in a peace and a calm state, and do the same thing, but it won't be fear. It'll be focus, you know, where you could penetrate the same way against your quote enemy if you were in an unfortunate situation where you'd have to defend yourself. But that would be different from fear. And fear is a destructive vibration where focus would not be, right? So there's a story about masters that would never, or assassins, I'm sorry, that were hired that wouldn't assassinate people in a state of anger because they knew it would damage their karma. They would have to assassinate the people just in a calm state, like I'm doing my job. I have to get on. You know, I don't want to be involved energetically. So some people would spit in their faces and do things to get them enraged. And then this is way back in China or Japan. I'm sorry, back in the day. They would walk off because they didn't want to kill the person in a state of anger or rage because of the karmic imprint it would leave on their auric field, their toroid. So, in a lot of my work, of course, I work with crystals and pyramids, and I do energy work to cleanse these energy fields, to resonate and raise the rate of vibration of the toroid. Also, the different light spectrums of the toroid, thinking about it being a ball of light, right? An electromagnetic ball of light that is following a genetic pattern that, you know, once again, like grids that are down like at the bottom that lock in light, and so it can flow a certain way that's manifested for a purpose, so to speak, in reality. Um, we use these energies in like in food. Well, this is the essence of the universe itself, and we think we're devouring, you know, the apple when we really just need the essence of what it is. You know, it's the concept really that nourishes us, the consciousness that's entrapped in the pattern of this, the application of this application to sustain us in this matrix that we invented in our collective conscious. So I use a lot of tools, as I was saying, like crystals and pyramids. One of my favorites is my scepter that I use. And my scepter is another example of what we're doing here. I have 3 hematite crystals. They're highly magnetic. You can see, you can separate them from the frame here of my scepter. And this is indicative of a toroid, right? It's circular and it's spiraling, as you can see, like, you know, the toroids here are spiraling, like in that kind of same thing. And so when I put the crystals here and they lock into the grid, it's going to spiral all in the same direction. And I put it in every other slide. And this is called a trident because it has 3 either prongs, tuning forks, points of energy, that sort of thing. You have 3 in a trident. This is a trident scepter. So, but what I use this for is to align my magnetic field, my toroidal field, with the earth and the essences around me, so I can be more perceptive and attuned to my environment. So, people see me walking with this and they think, oh wow, this guy thinks, he's a wizard, he has a scepter in his hand. And it's like, this is magnetic 440 stainless steel. That's why it's sticking so well with my hematite crystals. It's magnetic in and of itself, especially diamagnetic, but it's also magnetic, super strong. And so holding it, magnetizes my whole auric field and puts it in alignment with the Earth's magnetic field. You can think of lightning rods and how they prevent the house from getting struck down by lightning in the building because they create grounding between the intense currents that's coming from above down into the earth. And it's a similar type device. I wouldn't want to walk outside in a thunderstorm with this held high above my head on a golf course, because I would not be here anymore for certain. It would be an absolute certainty that I would be struck down. An absolute certainty. Way worse than any other thing that could be around, because of I have 3 magnets, and the magnetic pole, and yeah, it's bad. It'd be very bad. But for me, on a regular day, this is a great tool for my auric cleansings and transmutations. And I can balance it in my hand like a weight. I have to find that balancing point because of the weight of the thing here. When I'm walking, it's much easier when I have it just swinging down by my side. But it's a balance. When it's in my hand like this, I can feel everything around me. Every little subtle current of energy that's in the air is readily apparent to me because of the balance of the energy in my hand. And again, the magnetic field of this is interacting with my aura, which is extending 6 feet outside of my body to make a completion of the current. It's a closed current, closed circuit. And I can project with this the energy outwards into the greater field, my particular energy and vibrations that I'm emanating. So just wanted to kind of, again, show you guys a little bit about the nature of the toroid, or toroidal fields, energetic fields, like batteries also, have the negative pole and positive at the bottom. They're just shaped cylindrically and not in this form. But if you take a magnet, a bar magnet, and lay it down with some shards, you'll see this exact same field here that will emanate from the magnet. And this exact same energy field is surrounding your body right now, just like it's surrounding the entire earth, and it's called the aurora borealis. If you go look up the aurora borealis, and that's why we have an aura. The human aura is a microcosm of the aurora borealis. That's an electromagnetic field of the earth. We have our own electromagnetic field that comes from our heart, our minds, our spinal columns. They're all electrified and therefore also magnetized. And the more that we can magnetize our spines and electrify our spines with negative ions, which is positive energy, we can attune with the energies that we want to, and have greater abilities to manifest what we want in life. Creative visualization and other things applied with this type of understanding and charging up energetically helps tremendously in the manifestation process. So again, just a brief video explaining about toroidal fields. And also, if you look down here in the little corner, there are the two people that are exchanging energy aurically, and that's the convergence of the two auric fields where that transference actually is taking place. So it's very important to understand. That's why they have the 6-foot rule and be around 6 feet. People around, keep people 6 feet from you type thing. That's why that exists, because of our actual auras are 6 feet extending from our spinal columns outward into the ether. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments about what I shared with you today. And we'll see you on the next video.